Good morning, everybody. Got your coffee? I got mine. So I have things to say today. So grab you a cup of coffee, grab you some tea, grab you some water, make you a smoothie. Do whatever you got to do. Pause this video and come back when you're nice and comfortable because we may run long. In the meantime, in between time, before I even get going, and there's some people that I really need to say thank you to. Jen, thank you so much. Jen is such a great friend to this platform, our community library and pantry, and to me. And I don't even have the words to articulate how thankful I am that the universe somehow put us in one another's pathway. Thank you, Jen. And then Megan, sister, thank you so much. What a surprise. Thank you so much. And Donna, who's always so supportive and just there. I see you, sis. I'm thinking about adding on another day, in fact, to my stay. I'm kind of on the fence because I don't want to come back and have to do work. You know, I want to come back to my clean house and things being organized and, administrative things being handled. This is my desk that I sit at. And I don't want to come back to work. So, and if I'm gone too long, I will. But I'm still, everybody knows what they got to do while I'm gone. And so, but I'm thinking about it. I am. In the meantime, look what came. Because of people like y'all, I was able to gift this to myself. My e-reader came. And I always said that I would never get an e-reader until I downloaded that app. And I saw the ease of it. And now instead of taking, maybe 4 or 5 books to the room, I can just take this e-reader now. It's good for stuff like that. Instead of lugging around books, I can see how this would be great for a plane too. I always took books on a plane. It's got a park, just an outing, but there's nothing like a physical book. The pages, the way the pages feel in your hands and the way the words pop on the page and the way the ends get frayed and curl up, the way you can highlight, outline your bookmark. I love a bookmark, man. I don't dog ear my books like another one of my commenters said. I like a good bookmark. I do, especially if it has a good saying on there or, a black woman, woo sign, because we're seeing a lot of those types of bookmarks. Man, I tell you, nothing makes a racist white man in particular more upset than to see a black woman at rest. That gets them so upset. That's why I love those books, those types of bookmarks. Anything that is a reminder that black women deserve rest. And that is why I'm so happy to be having this little birthday weekend that you guys have secured for me, for lack of a better word. Thank you, everybody. With that said, I woke up this morning, I checked my socials, and I was so disappointed. I was so disappointed. Before I get to that, let me try to feed another narrative into it. Not another narrative, but let me just start off by saying I'm getting ready to talk to black people. Sometimes I don't have the patience for you white people. So many of you all need to go somewhere and really work on y'all racism. Y'all do. Because racism is many things. Just, there's so many layers to racism. It is. And while some of you who are trying to deconstruct from your racism are more ahead than others, because like everything, deconstruction, that is a process. It's a very long, lengthy, complicated process, and you got to think of it as one of those big blooming onions, and you just got to keep peeling back the layers. And just when you think you get into the nitty and the gritty, here comes another layer. And and the more you learn yourself and you learn about yourself, and the more you learn about how you have been problematic in this way, It's another layer. Let me tell you this, you're never going to get there. This is ongoing work until the day you die. It is. And I'm going to tell you how I know that, because deconstructing from my internalized racism is working to the day I die. So when you all come into my conversations, when I'm talking to black people, y'all, the fact that y'all don't even ask yourselves, do you have a voice in this conversation, should tell you that you need work. When you're just prompted to get into the conversation that black people are having with one another. Because racism tells white people that there is no space that you are not allowed to walk in or exist in. But racism tells us that shit all the time. There's just some places black people just can't go for our own safety and peace of mind. We can't go in every space and exist and be okay and have the safety and security that y'all have. And a lot of y'all don't even think about that. So when black people are talking to each other, even when I start off a video that says, hey, black people, y'all don't hear that. It doesn't fucking compute for y'all. And that's because y'all racism is in the way. You ain't got to that layer. And then when y'all say, I'm clearly talking to black people, and somebody says something like, I, as a 77-year-old man, agree with you, old white man. I agree with you. So the fuck what? I don't care. I ain't talking to you. I ain't talking to you. What the fuck makes you think I'm talking to you? When I'm addressing the black community, I'm clearly talking to the black community. But here you go with words to say, centering your fucking opinion in these conversations that nobody is talking to you about. And again, that's your racism. Because your racism is saying to you that, and this is when you're problematic and harmful, because you think that black people want your solidarity, your approval, and that we need your validation. And granted, I hate to admit it, but some black people do. I am not that kind of black person, and I don't know what I said or what I did to make you think that. I'm going to chuck it up to you all have not been following me long enough to know that, because I don't really give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about your validation. And the reason why you do that is your racism. Your racism is in your way. Because somewhere in your head, you think that you are actually above black people, that you are superior in some way. You are more superior than black people are. And so we need your approval and we need your validation. We need whiteness to validate blackness. That's your racism. You don't think that it is, but it is. And the reason why you don't understand that's racist is because you're not as far along in your progress of deconstructing from your racism that you think that you are. Especially if you, in black spaces, bothering black people who are talking to other black people. You ain't nowhere near as far along in your process of deconstructing from that shit than you think. It's so many layers, and it's layers upon layers upon layers upon layers upon layers. I don't need your validation. I don't need your approval. I don't think that white people are superior to me, so I don't need your validation. I do not think that white people are smarter than me. I don't need your validation. I don't think that white people are more than I am. I don't need your validation. I don't think that white people are better than me. I don't need your validation. I don't need your approval. I don't think any of that shit. Not even a little bit. That is how far I am in deconstructing from my internalized racism. I don't need nothing from y'all in that respect. Coming on the black people's pages. I agree. I agree with you. I ain't even talking to you. I went all off on a tangent, but still, it's just so mind blowing how you say. I'm like, oh my God, these people really, 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 really think that they are not the racist ones. You are. All white people are racist. All of you are racist. Some of you are happy to be overt racist, but all of you are racist because you were raised in a racist society that favors you. And so you have been programmed to think certain things about yourselves and about us. You have been conditioned to think that. And so your job is to work on that and leave black people out of that. We got our own work to do over here. You know, I woke up this morning and I saw where Snoop Dogg and Nelly are going to be performing at the inauguration. And I thought, what the fuck, man? I ain't that big of a Nelly fan. I mean, I like them apple bottom jeans, that song. The boots with the fur. But I am a huge Snoop Dogg fan. I am. Snoop Dogg, man. I can remember me in 1920 when Gin and Juice came out. Man, driving down the street in my car, listening to Gin and Juice, laid back with my mind on my money and my money on my mind. No, I was in my early 20s then, very early 20s when that song came out, when it hit. I'm just going to see what black people going to do. I'm going to see if y'all going to let them off the hook. Y'all let Janet Jackson off the hook. You know something? Here's the thing. No amount of money, and I mean this with my whole black ass soul, no amount of money could make me sell out my community. No amount of money could make me support a man like Donald Trump in any way. Mind you, I am a poor person, okay? And mind you, the only reason why my husband and I have these tough financial times is because America is increasingly becoming expensive. And then wants more and more and more for everything. Capitalism is an American god. It's the god of America. Capitalism. And when you see black people that can survive without that check, going running to get that check, or voting for this man, when it's like, it's more than it being just about the money. You got to peel back a few of those layers too. Because people like, you know, like Janet Jackson, Snoop Dogg, Nelly, they get to a point where they get enough money, in Ice Cube, Kanye, you know, they forget where they come from and they get comfortable with their current situations. Rich people should be paying more taxes. Point blank, period. It shouldn't be on people like me and you. Rich people should be paying more taxes. Point blank, period. They got the most money. We shouldn't be paying their share of taxes. That's stupid. And it gets to a point where they have so much money that they forget where they come from and they forget the people who gave them the money. Because it was our community that got them there. And then they get so much money to where they forget about the rest of us. And that is hurtful to me. You know, one time I read an article that Aretha Franklin gave. I believe it was to either it was Ed or Jet magazine. Ebony or Jet. Tongue-tied today. And they were talking about the fact that she, at one point, when Angela Davis was arrested it was Aretha Franklin who bailed her out, made sure she was bailed out. And she was asked about that by a black reporter in a black space. And she said, black people gave me my money. Why would I not support black people? Aretha, say whatever you want to say about Aretha, but Aretha never sold out. She never sold out. You know, when I used to clean my house, when my kids was growing up. Because, baby, when I tell you the way I love me some Gladys Knight, I love Gladys Knight. My kids knew that. Like, most people clean up to Anita Baker. That's who I clean up to now. But I love me some Gladys Knight. I put on that same Gladys Knight album. I loved it so much to this guy that I was dating at the time. One Saturday morning, I reached for that. And it was 2 front row seats to the Gladys Knight concert. And that was at Shane Park in Detroit. And that was one of the nicest things anybody had ever done for me, you know, up until then. And we went to that concert and I had the best time. And Gladys, she was all in white and she was off the water. And it was people who could, you know, who had boats that could see the concert for free. Because they could just pull up with their boats and dock them. You know, it's just a vibe. If you ain't never been to Shane Park in Detroit and enjoyed a concert, it's a whole vibe. It ain't what it used to be back in the day, though. Because the last time I was there, I saw Erykah Badu. It ain't like it used to be. You know, when the old heads was there, and when it was the old heads, mind you, I was a young head then. I ain't an old head like I am now. I was kind of an old head when I went to go see Badu, but I was young. But I would always hang with the old heads because they the best people, man. You learn so much from them. And they so mellow and it's so laid back and it's no drama. All they want is to come out, be sugar motherfucking sharp, drink their drinks, and be laid back as fuck. And that was my vibe. And I remember it was this one point in the concert where I said, I love you. And she said, I love you too. And I almost died. That's how big a fan I am. Right up until she crossed the line with me. And I'm not telling y'all how to feel about any of these people. I'm just telling you how I feel. When she decided that she was going to sing the anthem at the Super Bowl in the middle of Kaepernick's stance. Colin Kaepernick, really nice guy. I've been fortunate enough to have a conversation with him. 2 people. Isn't that something? Even though I didn't really talk to her. Colin Kaepernick, you know, consciousness, because everything is on a scale, it's on a scale. And it was about him saying that Black Lives Matter and him taking a stand on that issue because he got tired of seeing people that looked like him be murdered in the street with impunity. And so he said, this is what I'm going to do. And a lot of people disagreed with it. But every racist did. Because how dare you use our one of our favorite pastimes to make a political stand to say that your life matters. And then they punished that guy for saying that. But you have to think about what else that was about. It was about how the more things change, the more things stay the same. You have to think about what they were saying. The message that the NFL sent back too. All these black guys on their roster. And none of their lives matter. They can do drugs. They can get drunk. They can kill people. They can rape women. Sexually assault women. They can fight dogs. They can do all these heinous things. But you can't never say your life matter. They make all this money from all these black men. All this black talent. That was what was getting me. And the way they punished him and made an example out of him. The way they said, you can beat the fuck out of your wife. You can rape the barmaid in the VIP room. But don't you dare say your life matter on this field. Do all the drugs you want. Be a menace to society in every way you can. We'll figure it out. just don't say your life matter. And that hit hard for me. It did. So when she did that, I have not listened to Gladys Knight since. I haven't, because my spirit just won't let me. It won't. And that's how I know that no matter how poor I am, what's going on in my life, I would never sell black people out in that way. Not for a check. And I can firmly say this because $1 billion is a lot of fucking money. But I swear on everything I love, my kids even, unless somebody that I love was in dire straits and going through something that only money could fix. I mean, something serious. Ain't no way in the world. Not even for $1 billion fucking dollars would I support someone like that. The only reason why he pardoned all of those black rappers is because they were high profile and he knew that black people would fall for it. The Baby, Kanye, he knew it. He knew it. And then people like Sexy Red fell for it. And mind you, these are not scholars, they're rappers. But other black people saw that. And they were able to get some black people on their side. Because they saw these very high profile black people say that Trump was okay. Have y'all read Project 2025? Do y'all not see that this country is being taken over by oligarchs? They're going to make our life hell. Everybody in this country is getting poor and poor and poor. And these greedy people, man, I tell you, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. Whatever happened to my word is my bond. Whatever happened to integrity, nobody has it anymore. I would never sell out my fucking community. My community that gave me everything I got for somebody like Donald Trump. And this man has done some horrible things to women and to children and to black people. I'm so disappointed. I'm so disappointed. Yeah, that shit hurt. I love me some Snoop. Donald Trump is a horrible human being. And he's going to do some horrible things. He and his party. His party, that are full of racists. They're going to do some horrible things to black people in the years to come. Horrible. And all these black people that took checks helped make that possible. And don't y'all ever forget it.